Hey there, folks. I was just coming at you with a quick one to um, out a little bit to my last podcast where I got a little bit cut off by the dogs barking. Yeah, sorry about that. I was late and I was getting tired, and I had a couple more things I wanted to throw in real quick. Like I said, I'm really trying to get to this stuff. Uh, Other stuff the media's not really grabbing on, but the media keeps taking up all the oxygen. There's another point I wanted to bring up about the media specifically. It's very strange that right wing media is really pushing for Biden to drop out too. A little bit odd, don't you think? If their guy has got all that, you think they want Biden to stay in. If he's doddering around and he's, in this whole decline and you know, the polls don't trust him anymore. Again, see who's doing them. One that got picked up, I think, by, again, don't quote me, is this is fact because I can't remember. I hear so many poll places when I hear this stuff, like 5:30 or whatever, and you got CBS and all of these polls that they do. And sometimes those are not by the actual organization, but they pay somebody else to do that. One of them is a Trump pollster, and that got picked up by some places. Um, so you got to see what you got to break that down. That's why nobody believes the polls anymore when it comes to national stuff like that. Localized polls is more on the level, but like in the presidential stuff like that, they're pretty much garbage anymore. Again, they're going by a rule book nobody's going by anymore, and it's like a study. You can have it mathematically look whatever way you want it to benefit whatever you're trying to push. Polls are no different. You can craft it in such a way to have that outcome that you want. But if Trump is all that and such a bag of chips plus dip, you think he would want Biden to stay in the race because after the debate, if he's going such downhill with everybody, then Trump is a shoo-in, right? So why is the right wing media trying to push Biden out? Because they're still afraid. I was watching a clip. I was chilling with some House Sparks a little bit, and he was running over. He goes and picks clips off and he breaks them down, and sometimes they're just hilarious. He throws a lot of fact out there though, which is great. So he's a good follow. He'll stand right there and look it up for you. You should have seen the Florida man with that one was priceless. But tonight, anyway, the point was he was pulling off a right wing media thing, and they're just pounding trying to get Biden to leave, and the guy's going on about how Joe Biden's this and Joe Biden's that, and then he said something about Trump being so Dr. Evil, and he paused and he hesitated, like, we'll have to finish that, and then he goes, oh, like they say that he is. He had to add that on there after he hesitated. So it's like, oh, you just gave the game away. You all think that too. You all think that he's just awful. But they know Trump's not got it going on. So push Biden out, create the chaos, create the conflict. So they are also adding to this media frenzy because they know their boy ain't got it in the bag. Because if he did, they would want Biden to stay in if he was such this, you know, he was so bad that he couldn't continue. That would be what Trump would want, right? Somebody he could beat easy. He knows he can't. So these are things to think about, people. And again, look into I mentioned Epstein. I have not got to dig real deep into it. Um, I think DJT is listed anonymously as like 100 and person 100 and something, like 37 or something like that. I haven't gotten to get real into the weeds into it because Project 2025 is a big task, and I had to tap out a little bit on that. It's just reading it, it's just like mind numbing. It's horror, but they just wrap it in this package of boredom purposefully. Um, so I'm just saying, think about these things. And the right wing media is hemorrhaging people. They're hemorrhaging viewership, subscribers. People kind of toss them aside too. So they need to go out and be huge, larger than life. If it bleeds, it leads. That kind of thing. So that is something to keep in mind as well. Why is everybody pushing for Biden to go? I mean, Joe Walsh even. Last week he was Trump's, or not Trump, Biden's my guy. And this week, no, we want Biden to quit so Trump can lose. Like I said, make it make sense. That he said that, and it's on his YouTube. I didn't watch it. I'm not clicking it. I'm not giving it oxygen. No. But you see my point. These people are switching. Celebrities is a dicey thing. They have a bubble they live into. And they feel very elite, which they are. You know, like the George Clooney op-ed in the New York Times. Very questionable. Because it's the New York Times. If it weren't anywhere else, even though they're all on that train. I mean, or if he would just release the statement personally through his publicist or whatever, that would be different. But he chose that. Yes, his wife is a human rights lawyer, and she has friction with the Biden administration over Israel Gaza. I'm not saying there's complete animosity there, but there's friction. He's backing his wife's play. You know, so I get that. But a lot of people are jumping on this bandwagon, so I don't want people to fall in that trap of who you like them as an actor. They're just that. They're an actor. That's their job. Some advocate, some do other things. Absolutely, excuse me. But I'm just saying, you think for yourself. Don't let other people influence you in that respect, because we've seen how that goes, and we got a cult we're facing. So, yes, as I tell you to not listen to other people. But you get my point. I'm not trying to tell you to think like I think. I'm telling you to think for yourself. Connect those dots. I'm connecting them so you don't have to, because head full of information, it just sits there. But I haven't got to get into the Epstein thing, but DJT is listed in there quite frequently. It's something about people could, you know, they were contacted. You, are you cool or not about your name being in this? And they could say yes or no or whatever. I believe he said no because he's listed as individual, whoever, whatever number. But he's got a lot of mentions in there, which the news is not talking about that. That's what I was meaning about cone of silence and the circle the wagons. You've got it in the federal judiciary. You've got it in SCOTUS. You've got it in Congress. You've got this cone of silence and the circling the wagons. That when one of theirs is threatened, except when it's a president. Sometimes. But sometimes they just like to just chew themselves alive because there's other injustice play. I know that our side wants to win and they think they can't this way. But what they're not doing, and again, they have their own echo chamber they're in. They're not talking to people on the ground. I'm hearing from Texas Paul and others. They're talking to people. I'm talking to people. I am not hearing, nor is it being reflected back to me, the same way the media is coming across. I have people asking me, like, hey, you think he's going to go? You think he should? I said, no. And I explained why. I'm like, they're creating this alternate reality, this upside down. And so we need to take a pause and come back down to the ground here and think right and look at the overall big picture. Millions of people on top of that voted for Biden. He didn't have any real big challengers. I mean, yeah, Jill Stein, RFK. And that's about the only biggest name going, and he's cray cray. Um, Even his family says so. Um, but he didn't have big challengers, and the third parties. Yeah, we need to get to a place where we can progress so we can expand on parties. But right now is not that time. That's the world we live in. Work with what you got. It would be nice if we could get there, but this is not that time. A Jill Stein vote is not going to help you. She travels to Russia an awful lot as a guest of the state. She runs every 4 years. What's she doing between time, and where does this money come from? I am not a conspiracy theorist. I am just throwing known facts out there. Very strange, don't you think? It's just a plant to me. That's personally my opinion on her anyway. But I'm just saying all of that. There was no real challenge to him from a big name or anything because everybody's backing him. It's his stragglers. If you look at the people that are kind of jumping ship, they're the stragglers. I even saw something about a Dem saying if Trump were elected, he thinks it wouldn't nearly be as bad as all of they're saying. It's not going to be that crazy, and he would support him as president. And I'm like, oh, you're just like that one down in the Carolinas that was one is a Dem and flipped to Republican. You're one of them kind. You're wolf in sheep's clothing. What you thinking, son? Like, really? I'm just saying. Watch what they say. Watch what they do. Be observant. Pay attention. And this is not something the media is reporting either. So I'm just saying, a lot of these are stragglers, never Trumpers, stuff like that. The core, I mean, they're pushing the leadership to, those outsiders that really are just the outliers. They're pushing the insiders to get on their ship. We can't let them. Write your legislators. Say, hey, look, we're riding with Biden or whatever because millions of people chose him for their candidate. If they want to pull somebody or kick him off, that disenfranchises all those people. That is another thing they're not talking about in the media. Oh, we pull this, or he goes. Well, people voted for him. Do you want to disenfranchise people? They're not talking about that either. See, these are all the things you have to pick up on that they're not talking about. So, those are just a few thoughts. It's just something I wanted to push out there just a little bit further because, I mean, the dereliction of duty on the media, the legacy media's part is just crazy. Crazy. And to quote Melissa Murray, one of my girls from the Strict Scrutiny podcast, which shout out to them, you all should go follow about SCOTUS and the law. They're those ladies are top of their game. They are professors. They're professors. I think they're all constitutional scholars and teach constitutional law, if I'm not mistaken. But they're on their game, and so go check them out. They're on YouTube, on all the podcast streaming services and everything, and they really know their stuff. And I'm going to quote her. I mean, the media, SCOTUS. She said it about Alito, but they're all kind of like, "Who gonna check me, boo?" And that's what this is like. Nobody's checking them. Nobody's checking them. We, the people, we have to participate. So go check them. Like I said, I'm feeling it. I mean, I'm hearing from people. I'm hearing from other people on the ground. The media is not reflecting the population right now. And those people that are on a fence, maybe, or don't know, or not in the loop, or hey, you got the job and everything. They're seeing all this come at them, and a lot of people are just fed up, and they're just turning it off, and they're done. But they're getting pissed. It's just kind of everywhere, infecting everything. A lot of social or corporate media, like cable news and papers and stuff, they wonder why they have hemorrhaged as well, like the right wing media. It's because there are other avenues like this, social media, where people get information from. And there are other more reliable sources to utilize this. Like, I always said, follow ProPublica. Open Secrets, good good website to go check things out. Good stuff, good on the nose stuff, about money and politics and things like that. You've got places like Judge Judd Legum, um, Heather Cox Richardson, Joanne Freeman, Terry Canfield, the Strict Scrutiny ladies. There's a lot of good people Dahlia Lithwick. Got a lot of good people out there with a lot of good information. And these are all good sources. And they know people are getting their stuff elsewhere. And so if it bleeds, it leads. So that's why I'm saying, people, you got to check them, boo. You got to check them. You got to check them because they're going to keep up this freaking endless hamster wheel of noise until somebody, Biden, he could come out spinning cartwheels at this freaking point. They have elevated it to such a level and moved the goalposts so far. There's nothing at this point he can do because the outliers, the sharks, are coming in for, the chum in the water. And they're trying to bring all the leadership into that too. Check them. You write Jeffries. You write Nancy Pelosi. You write Schumer. You write all the Democrats. You can go on the government website. You can look up all of the people. And you get their emails. You can get their phone numbers. You can call them and say, you don't bail on him. If you voted for him, say, I voted for him. I will not be disenfranchised. The right wing is scared because they're pushing this narrative too, along with the corporate media. Because they know Trump doesn't have it in the bag. So why are they asking Biden to drop out? Why are they pushing for Biden to drop out? Because they know dear leader don't got it. So, there's a game afoot, people. There's a game afoot. And on top of that, you haven't seen Trump out in the world for like 10 days or something like that. What he doing? Where he been? What's going on with him? Why nobody checking on that? There's a lot of stuff going on here. But again, you got a quarterback. He said this is the play. Back is play. Because they keep moving the goalposts. We're never going to catch up to their goalposts. They do that all the time. You've seen it. We've all seen it. So let's do our part. We participate. We the people. We participate. Check them. Get on the government websites. Get your senators. Get your congressmen. Local, state, federal, whatever. You say, you back him. I voted. Even if you didn't, you say, I'm voting this time. I'm backing him. Let's go. Don't you bail. Unity, folks. That's what we need. We need unity. We need to get this circus stopped. This is a hamster wheel that's never going to, if somebody don't, put the brakes on it. And that's we the people. We participate. So that's all. I just wanted to throw that out there a little bit. I will get to other subjects. I do want to go over more about Project 2025, reproductive rights, the shenanigans, the RNC and their platform, the first time we've had one in a minute. And remember, folks, their language change does not change the outcome. Oh, and there's infighting there, too. How cute. They're splintered, but don't hold hope on that. Don't think that's a backstop. They'll rally when they need to, but they're gonna, yeah. I hope they eat themselves from the inside out too, like the Dems do on occasion, but I don't think they'll let it go that far. But there's fighting. You've got the hard radical right, the Pence, division. It's not far enough. They're not moderate. It's just they're trying to soften the language to let the public think that they are, and it's not. It's just the wording. It's shenanigans. The outcome is the same. But they don't think that goes far enough, and they think, Pence's faction thinks that's serious, and they're mad at them, and it's causing a little war. But don't hold. It's nice to see. It's kind of fun. Like, oh, goody. But eventually, when it comes to go time, they line up. Eventually, they suck it up and grit their teeth. And, they have gone radical, folks. They have gone so far radical that it is not. This is not the old GOP anymore. It is so mutated into a monster that they let the monster out, and it cannot be controlled. It just can't. So, but go check on the RNC platform. Each day has a new thing that's just crazier than the next. The last, it's just make America rich again or something like that. It's just crazy stuff. I'm like, God, are you people serious? It's like a 5-year-old wrote this shit. Yeah, but these are what we're dealing with. They're not adults in the room. They're ghouls. They're demons. They're radicals. And they want to call us radical. No, don't let them. Push back, folks. We have the power. Take it back. Check them, boo. All right, that's all. I will get to other things this week, hopefully. So take care. Peace out.